The Macadams stove is a 6-plate stove and is also fitted with an oven. It is used for cooking and baking products. In this video, we will be showing you the safe work procedures, operation and cleaning of the Macadams range of equipment. As with all kitchen and bakery equipment, the correct safe work procedures must be followed at all times to minimize potential hazards and workplace injury. Knowing how to correctly inspect, operate, clean and maintain and protect yourself while operating the stove is essential for your safety and the safety of other employees. Ensure you're wearing the correct personal protective equipment. Always make sure that the area around the stove is clear of any obstacles or hazards. Inspect the stove by checking that the electrical cable and plug are in good working condition, that the stove and oven was properly cleaned when it was last used, that the oven trays are in good condition, and that the stoves and ovens dials are all in their off state. Plug the electrical cable into the circuit breaker and switch it on at the mains. A green light should illuminate and means that the power is on. Test that the oven works by switching the temperature dial on. And an orange pilot light indicates that the element is heating up. If you are satisfied that the unit is working correctly, switch the oven off. If any of these lights do not illuminate or you identify any other potential hazards during your inspection, do not use the stove. Report your findings to your supervisor immediately. As the Macadams stove has 6 stove tops and an oven, it is possible to cook up to 6 pots of food simultaneously. To operate the stove, place the pot with food contents onto a stove plate and turn the temperature dial for that specific stove plate to the required heat setting. Temperature settings range from 1, the lowest temperature, to 6, the highest temperature. Monitor the food's cooking process, ensuring nothing bubbles over. Once you're complete, switch the stove plate off. Remove the pot from the stove plate and place it on a heat-resistant surface. If required, you can leave the pot on the stove plate at a very low temperature to simmer. To operate the oven, turn the thermostat to the desired temperature and allow the oven to preheat. You will know that the oven has reached the desired temperature when the orange pilot light goes off. Put on protective oven mitts. Open the oven door and put your product inside the oven before closing the oven door. Once the required time has elapsed, switch the oven off and open the oven doors. Always use heat-resistant oven mitts when removing product from the oven. And be careful not to touch the oven or stove plates with your bare hands when in use, as they are very hot. Once the final batch of baked goods have been completed, leave the oven door open to allow it to cool, and switch off and unplug the units at the mains in preparation for washing. Cleaning the stove is the next major step. Doing so daily is an important preventative maintenance that improves its lifespan. It is important to follow your company's prescribed cleaning schedule. Let the stove and oven cool completely before cleaning the unit. To clean the stove plates, use a damp cloth soaked in warm soapy water. Use the same cloth to wipe the area around the stove plates and the sides of the stove. Now use a dry cloth to wipe the stove plates and the outside of the stove. To clean the oven, remove each tray that was used and take them to the sink to be washed using a soft cloth and hot soapy water. Each tray must be thoroughly dried. The inside of the oven must also be cleaned with a moist cloth, including the doors. And a nylon food grade brush can be used to free waste stuck to the oven surfaces. Occasionally, the oven must be fumigated too. If you are required to fumigate the oven, ensure you have been trained to do so and that you use the prescribed chemicals. Also make sure that the room is well ventilated. Dry the inside of the oven after cleaning. Once the stove and the oven have been completely dried, spray it with sanitizer and allow it to air dry. Now clean and sanitize the work area around the stove. Finally, do an inspection of the stove, ensuring that it is in good working order. If there's any fault or damage, report it to your supervisor immediately. Always follow the correct safe work procedures to protect yourself and fellow kitchen and bakery staff and customers at all times.